This is a story with many facets.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Jody and Scott Show.
Hey, welcome to the Jody and Scott Show. What's happening? Of course, you can always find us on iTunes, and that's where you can leave a review and subscribe and all that stuff on iTunes.
Yeah.
Go do it. This is the night, Scott. This is the night that you take our little show and you turn it from a little boy and turn it into a man, right, Scott? This is it.
Dude, I am as giddy as a schoolgirl.
Gotta tell you.
Right now. I haven't been this excited since I watched my first porn. I mean, this is just one of those things where, dude, I am so excited right now.
When
I
you
might cry.
When you texted me this afternoon with who agreed to join us on the show today, at first I thought you were just yanking my chain, and then when it turned out this was true, I was very excited, just like you said, because I mean, look, I've got a short list of people that inspired me to get into like broadcasting, and this guy is on that very, very short list.
Hulk Hogan?
No, not Hulk Hogan. No.
Oh,
Although he is going to be
much,
on.
you know.
Hulk Hogan's going to be on today. You booked Marc Summers, Scott. I don't know how.
Marc Summers, Double Dare.
I don't know how you did it. Not sure.
Food Network, the longest running show in Food Network history, Jody. Did you know that? Did you do any research on Mark before we have him on?
Of course I did. Like I said, this guy he's one of my heroes. I've kind of followed him throughout the years anyway. But we'll talk to him in just a few minutes, and it's very exciting. He's a big time star that has a lot to offer the world, and it's going to be fun to talk to him for a little while.
Don't screw this up for me, Jody. Don't ask about how much money he makes.
I know you're really stressing. I know you're really stressing out about me asking him how much money he makes, but I really want to know. I want to know,
Jody,
because
keep it to yourself.
He's a
this
big
is a
star.
classy man.
He's
we're on here.
He's a big star, but he's not like a massive star, right? I'd like to. I'm curious. What do you think he makes? A couple million? 3 million a year?
This man is Jesus of broadcasting to me, Jody.
Well,
watch your mouth.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to him. What's Fruit Loop? What's Fruit Loop
Burger
milkshake?
King. Burger King keeps bringing us the good shit. You know what I mean?
Burger King
Fruit Loop milkshake.
Burger King is acting desperate, and it's very sad.
Yeah.
It's
Those
really
hot dogs aren't doing what they thought they would. You know what I mean?
It's too bad because sometimes there is just a giant gulf between first place and second place. Like we were talking about Pepsi, right? Like if Pepsi wasn't forced on you at restaurants, if you didn't sit down and go, can I have a Coke? They go, is Pepsi okay? If they didn't do that, you would never drink it, right? It's the same thing with Burger King. You would never go to Burger King, like if you had
the only restaurant in the city.
Right. Like, I mean, it's an awful restaurant. It's so bad.
Now, speaking of Pepsi, there's a lot of news with Pepsi right now. The Kendall Jenner thing, the beautiful commercial, that got canceled.
Yeah.
But also, Pepsi brought back Crystal Pepsi. And since we're doing Marc Summers tonight, we got Hulk Hogan on tonight. I bought a Crystal Pepsi to kick off this show. And I haven't had one of these things in about 30 years, Jody.
Is it really back, like in the store? Like you can buy a clear Pepsi beverage. Does it taste the same as the 90s clear Pepsi?
Jody, I have it in my hand right now.
Okay.
I'm about to sip and guzzle down a Crystal Pepsi. I'll give you my full review. We'll talk about it for about 20 minutes.
Can we hear it open? Can you can you have it do the psh sound? Can we hear it at least?
I already poured it into a glass. Jody. Come on.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Sorry, I didn't think about the radio aspect.
I know it would have made good radio for you to.
Well, I would have, But Jody, we can't get it all, This
okay.
is a very popular show.
All right. So tell me.
Here we go.
Tell me how the Crystal.
Song,
tell me how
Crystal Pepsi song.
It's already over. Okay. All right. Crystal Pepsi song one more time, Scott. All
oh
right.
God, this is so good, dude. I'm not even gonna drink water ever again.
Is it still as delicious?
Drink a barrel of this shit.
Is it still as delicious as it was in the 90s?
I'm gonna pour it on my freaking head, dude. I want to bathe in this shit, dude.
No, don't. Just stop. Don't. There's no
Crystal
need.
Pepsi's back.
It's really back though, right? Like you're not pulling my because I feel like I saw
7-Eleven.
Because I feel like a couple weeks ago I saw a sign and I thought maybe it was like an elaborate April Fool's Day joke or something, and then people are talking about how it's actually in stores, and I just It was bad the first time around. I don't know why they'd be going back. But again, we go back to that.
And Surge.
It's
They brought
because
Surge back.
Right. It's because they are desperate, right? Like when you are the distant second to first place, you pull stunts. That's why we do dumb things, right? Because you
Jody,
have
when
to.
your hairy feet touch an escalator, do you walk up it? Or do you just stand there with your hobbit feet?
The New
Because
York,
there's an article telling us what's better for you.
The New York
how you get there
Times
faster.
The New York Times decided to make the declaration, right? They decided
Right.
to make a ruling on what you're supposed to do on an escalator. Do you stand still or do you walk up the escalator? And I think there's a great, that one's a difficult one because the moving sidewalks, that's an easy one, right? Like if you are the person that stops on a moving sidewalk,
Fat.
they're not always fat, but I don't know what it is.
Big boned.
There's a part of me that burns with extraordinary rage every time that I see someone stopping on the moving sidewalks, be it at the airport or at Universal Studios. They have the really long ones at Universal Studios.
Oh yeah, that's a marathon.
And man, I swear,
you can't buy them because they're fat. Honestly,
they are. But you know what? Maybe
big women.
We do have a great guest joining us. Maybe we should ask him, Scott. What do you think about that? What do you think, Scott? What do you think?
I mean, he knows pretty much everything, Jody. I grew up with him as a father. So
we were just talking about this. Marc Summers, first of all, welcome to the Jody and Scott Show. How are you?
Mark, all right.
I'm doing good. And by the way, Crystal Light was brought back because the American public wanted it back. That's how the whole thing happened. Because I was a part of that whole
delicious.
campaign.
You were a part of this Crystal
Yeah.
Crystal Light or Crystal Pepsi? Which one are you?
Pepsi.
You may have misheard.
I thought it was Crystal Pepsi, right?
Wait, we're talking about the Crystal
Yeah,
Pepsi. Yeah. So you were involved
Crystal
in bringing
Light's good too with vodka.
So you were actually involved in bringing Crystal Pepsi back.
If you go online, there was a old sort of 90s electronic game like you would have played on a Game Boy back in the day, and you will see my face on that. I was a part of the whole thing. I indeed was part of that whole campaign when they brought it back.
Oh well, congratulations on succeeding at bringing back this beverage that is just
Jody.
I can't handle drinking. It's so bad. So anyway,
Really quickly, let's kick this off.
Yeah.
Mark, all right? Everybody's a Double Dare guy. I'm a what would you do guy. A lot of people don't talk about this show. This is a fun show.
No, you can tell the age of a human by if they come up and ask for unwrapped, Double Dare, or what would you do, and so you're a little bit younger. Because you're a What Would You Do fan. How old are you?
Whoa!
You know what?
Millennial.
That's Mark. I love that you brought this up because Scott has tried to sort of mentally de-age himself, and so what he'll do is he'll pull moves like this where he'll say he's a What Would You Do fan when really
Jody,
when
that's
really
true.
when really he's a
bloomer.
when really he's 38, 39 years old, just like
I'm
me.
32, Mark. This is sad.
And he tries to pretend like he's not, but he is. And I got to tell you, speaking of What Would You Do and Double Dare,
I watch Nickelodeon now.
I was a kid growing up in Orlando, Florida. I grew up there. I got to go to the Nickelodeon studios on a number of occasions and watch the Double Dare tapings. And
Clarissa.
Did you really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I grew up in Orlando, and I was telling Scott at the beginning of the show, and this is absolutely true, Mark. There are three people that I credit really inspiring me to get into broadcasting and getting into doing all this stuff. David Letterman, Howard Stern, and Marc Summers. You were one of these guys that really...
Well, that's very kind. That's quite a group. Tell you a quick Dave Letterman story. I started in radio in 1967 in Elwood, Indiana, and I was doing weekends from 6 to 11, and I was 15 years old, and the guy who drove me was the engineer. Back then you had to have a first-class FCC license, an element 1, 2, and 9, and sign off on the FCC stuff. It was insane. Well, I was taking the test, and there was a guy who drove me up there, and when he lost his job, I didn't have a ride up there anymore, and Letterman took my place.
That's how Letterman got his job?
Well, that's how we started up at WBMP in Elwood, back in 67. Then he
What
went
kind
to
of music were you playing?
WLWI, oh, Jesus, 101 Strings, Manavani, Perry Como, that kind of crap.
I'm a millennial. I wouldn't know any of that, Mark. Sorry.
You're not a millennial.
Yeah,
You're
right.
not. You're not a millennial. Stop it. You're older than I am.
No, it's true.
Mark, here's the deal.
But Letterman
Jody
and I grew.
Oh no, but
Jody's
Mark,
lost all his hair. He blamed it on the slime. That got slimed on him when he was
I never got to be
during the
slimed.
tour.
I never got to be on the show. I never got to be slimed. I was just standing there desperate to get on the show.
He is losing his hair.
I am losing my hair, yes. So,
well, things could happen. There are conversations going on. We did a special that aired on Thanksgiving Eve last November that got huge ratings. So there's all sorts of conversations going on now about trying to bring it back for people your age, as a matter of fact.
I meant to mention that to you because when was it? That was at Comic-Con? When you guys
30 year,
when you guys did that, right? And
we did a 30th anniversary of Comic-Con last year in San Diego, and then we took that and enhanced it and shot some stuff in New York. It aired on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, got huge numbers, and so we're in all sorts of conversations. There's things to come here over the next 6 to 12 months. But,
that's exciting news.
Working stuff out, but yeah, it's cool to know because all you guys grew up with it keep asking for it, and so it looks like it might happen.
Now, Scott, really quick. I've got some very deep trivia for you, Scott. That maybe not even Mark Summers knows. Now, for like one or two,
I wouldn't know old things.
For 1 or 2 years, there was a different announcer on Double Dare for just 1 or 2 years, and it was Doc Holliday from the XL 106.7 morning show. Scott, did you know that?
Whoa,
did you know?
That is true.
Yeah, for 2 years, he was
Harvey,
the announcer there.
Yeah, Harvey decided to go back to Philadelphia when he and his wife had a baby, and he was working on radio up in Philly. And Doc was our guy that followed up after that and did a couple of seasons with us.
See? I bet you didn't know that. I knew that when I was doing my real deep research on Mark Summers.
Well, Jody, he never does any research. You come on here, all of a sudden I can't get a question.
I was so excited, man. I'm telling you, Mark, you're one of the reasons that I'm in this thing. It's great.
Mark, you have a well-documented battle with OCD. Give us an update. Doing better, and how are things going with the OCD?
Oh, that's way in the past. That doesn't even affect my life anymore. So
that's awesome.
That's a good thing. Just doing some cool stuff. Just shot a View, which will air on Monday, and just working on all sorts of stuff. Got a new project I'm working on with Guy Fieri that starts shooting in May.
Well, what about the documentary? Like, I've seen the trailer for the On Your Mark movie, and it looks fascinating because
it comes out in October.
Okay, because I wasn't able to track down a release date, but I thought it looked like your stage show looked like it was sort of like one of those things that sort of like even though it wasn't played to massive audiences, it sort of feels like the apex of a career. Like the actual show itself looks like it was incredible, and it looks like you really poured your entire self into it. How did that
pretty emotional.
Yeah, how did that come to be? Like how do you end up like all of a sudden in a show all about you with you as the main character and over a short run in a small town theater? How does that happen?
What would you do?
I'll tell you what happened in 6-7 years ago. I got diagnosed with cancer. And I was in chemo for a couple of years and beat that. And then I was in a terrible car accident where I broke every bone in my face. And then I beat that. And I got to the point where I said, you know what? The one thing I haven't done in my life is theater, and I've always wanted to do it. And so talked to a lot of my friends who are on Broadway, and they said, stop talking about it and do it. So I did summer stock about 6 years ago at Long Beach Island, New Jersey, and played Vince Fontaine in Grease. And while I was there, I met a couple of young people who are now big people on Broadway.
Too?
A guy by the name of Drew Gasparini, who's writing a show now, and Alex Brightman. And Alex Brightman was starring in School of Rock for the past year on Broadway. And these guys collaborated with me and wrote the one-man show, and we launched it at a place called Bloomington Playwrights Project in Bloomington, Indiana. Mm-hmm. And then we did the Adirondack Theater Festival, and we're having conversations now. We have actually interest in doing it off-Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a whole other, that's a real cool part of my life. And so a couple of kids who grew up watching me, were 10, 12 years old, followed me for my entire career, came to me and said they wanted to do a documentary on the process. I said no for a couple of times. They finally convinced me, and I'm glad they did. It came out amazing, and we'll have an announcement really soon, but we're going to be doing a 10-city tour starting in the fall. And
that's great.
It's going to be really cool. Yeah, and it's about the whole one-man show and how it happened and the rehearsals and behind the scenes, and I really had a fun time doing it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the documentary.
Now, Mark, you, my friend, and don't take this any way, but you are aging like a fine wine. Do you have any beauty tips for a millennial like me? Like
what are you doing? Are you getting like the young person blood transfusions? Like what are you doing?
Good.
And the line used to be I used to eat pieces of Dick Clark. Of course, you can't do that anymore,
can you do that? Can I get some?
You get some
fine wine.
You know what? I never drank. I never smoked. I never did drugs. And, part of it's in the genes. I'll be 66 in November, but, mentally I'm still about 25.
Whoa,
so,
dude, I thought you were a millennial.
Right, definitely.
Yeah,
Mark
right.
Summer, he doesn't have the same derangement that you have, Scott.
I'm not deranged.
You're pretty
you ever
deranged.
lift your hand up that nose? The flag?
Oh, the gross
Everybody
nose.
leaves, you know?
Oh, that nose. It was like
Absolutely, pick it, man.
So tell me something. When you were doing that, were you suffering from the OCD stuff while you were doing the show? Was that sort of okay?
Yeah.
So you were, but it was just like doing the show was so great that it was sort of overrid those feelings. Is that kind of what the deal was, or what was going on?
Well, my passion was always to host a television show, and
right.
Who would have thought that would have been, doing something like that? So yeah, I mean, I had the best time ever. Of course, back then nobody knew what OCD was,
right?
And I hadn't been diagnosed until I was hosting a show on Lifetime and got diagnosed live on television. And that was late 90s, 96, 97. I wrote a book in 99, went on Stern and had a whole discussion with him about OCD because he's got it.
Right.
And then I was on Oprah and the Today Show and all that other kind of good stuff. And, I always say I'm 80% cured. I don't think you're ever 100% cured, but certainly I'm light years better than that whole time when it was, consuming my life.
And then
I bet you have a good-looking silverware drawer now. I bet that thing looks good.
And just really quick,
not as good as it once was.
Because you were talking about your battle with cancer, and I was reading that at some point you were diagnosed as terminal and told to get your affairs in order because you only had.
Boy, where did you read that? That's crazy.
Is this true, or is this or
Jody's outdoing me on the research today? This is new.
Is this a true story?
So I didn't know that was even in print. Yeah. I got diagnosed in Los Angeles, and I said to the guy, should I get a second opinion? He said yes. I flew to Chicago and met a doctor, and the guy said, you have mantle cell lymphoma. Get your papers ready. You'll be dead in 6 months.
Like what?
And so I couldn't believe it. So I called my doctor in L.A., and I said, I was just diagnosed with mantle cell lymphoma, and my doc in L.A. said, not true. I've already tested you for it. You don't have it.
Oh, my God.
So there was all this discussion about did I have it, did I not have it? And then I ended up at the University of Pennsylvania, and Dr. Edmund Statmauer diagnosed me properly and got me on the proper chemo, and I did that for 2 years, and here I am alive and kicking. But yeah, that was the worst day of my life.
I was gonna say,
so
Mark,
says,
what are you doing? What are you doing during that time between when this guy writes your death warrant and the other doctor says no, we're gonna treat this thing and we can beat it.
Sue him,
what's going on with you during that time? Like, 'cause I couldn't imagine.
I was crying, okay, because I was figuring I'll never see my kids get married and all that kind of stuff. And I called Dr. Blooming, my doctor in L.A., and said, you need to call him. And then he got into a whole thing about, protocols for him to call me, not for – and I was like, hey, man, I'm dying here. Help me out. And they got on the phone, and here's the craziest thing. The doctor in Chicago denied he ever said it. And I said, yeah, that's right.
Oh, my God.
Before I went to the appointment, I went online and Googled things that could kill me. I mean, I never heard of mantle cell lymphoma. Why would I make that up? So it was really a horrible couple of hours until I got properly diagnosed in Philly. And so kind of went to hell and back there for about 5 or 6 years. But
well, I tell you what, Mark,
came out of it stronger, and here I am.
Yeah, and since then your career has sort of continued to surge, and it's really, really great to see.
Longest running show in Food Network history, Jody. Mark has that one.
One of our friends described you as the Ryan Seacrest of Food Network, and I think that's probably I think it's incredibly.
I've known Ryan since he's 19 years old, man. He used to work for me. I did a show called Ultimate Revenge that I produced, and he was my host.
Oh, that's incredible. Oh, wow. Man, I wish I knew cool people like Mark.
You are the Ryan Seacrest of Food Network. I consider myself a foodie, and I'm going to blow your mind with something right now, Mark. You tell me if you knew this.
Okay.
Caesar dressing has anchovies in this. I found out this the other day. This is sick, isn't it? I didn't know this is real, man.
Yep.
Did you know that, Mark? Be honest.
Yeah, of course I did. And you know what?
You did. See,
everyone does.
Nobody told me this.
Scott, everyone knows this.
Twisted, man.
Where was Caesar dressing invented?
Scott.
Rome? Huh?
No, Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
actually,
it's
I
a
would have
guess.
guessed.
It's
I would
a-
have
I'm a
guessed Rome.
foodie, yeah.
I would have guessed Rome too, Scott.
You're showing up my foodie knowledge, Mark. That's not right.
Well, Mark, hey, Mark Summers, thank you so much for taking. It's awesome that you're willing to take the time to come on and chat with us like this, and we really appreciate it. And hopefully, as we get closer to maybe the documentary release, or maybe I don't know, something happened with Double Dare coming back, maybe we can have you back and talk to you about it. We'd love it.
That would be fun. I appreciate the time, guys. You have a nice evening.
You too. Thanks
Quickly,
very much.
though,
Oh,
Mark, before we go, can you give us on your mark, get set,
yeah,
go?
we got it.
Just one for
Just
old time's sake. Can we
one,
please?
one quick one.
Here we go. Ready?
Oh yeah, let's
On
do
your
it.
Oh,
mark.
God, yes.
Get set. Go.
Oh!
Mark!
Yeah. All right, Mark Summers, thank you very much. We appreciate it, man.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us.
You
There,
guys do well.
there,
Thanks.
truly
Bye.
one and only Mark Summers. I'm telling you, man, he's had it in like a wild life, Scott. When
I
you
just got a boner off of that.
when you told me he was coming on, I was like, man, this is one of my guys.
Jody,
I
you
was
actually
so
did work for the show. This is...
You like that? You like that? I did.
Oh, you were showing me up. Usually I'm the prepared one. I have a whole list of crap I couldn't get to because you were too prepared.
I'm telling you, I had a list of things I wanted to get to with him. There was so much. I could have talked to Mark Summers for 4 hours just now
we don't have that kind of time on
without
our hands,
without even a hesitation. I could have spoken with him for 4 hours.
God, he's a cool dude.
He's a very cool dude. All right, so do we
I
go
wanted to
right
try to
on?
ask him to hang out next time he was in Orlando, but you kind of shut me down on that. Dude. Not
Oh,
cool.
sorry,
Okay.
because he does have Orlando roots, man. He has the ties. Like, did you know that Doc and Johnny, the Doc from Doc and
Doc
Johnny, was
guy,
on?
I heard that Doc guy's a real dick. So
Yeah, I've heard he's a real dick too. Speaking
from everybody that's ever met him.
speaking of dicks.
Dicks?
No, just kidding. No, our good buddy Lee is joining us because
uncircumcised dicks, yes.
because it's time for the Masters, and of course we're bringing in our Masters expert Lee Goldberg. Everybody, welcome Lee Goldberg to the Jody and Scott
Crank it,
Show.
Jody.
How are you?
Masters expert. Yeah, I'm an expert at
That's right.
something with masters.
Yeah,
So-
I'm a master of that too, Lee. You know that.
So Lee Goldberg, we haven't. We haven't did you hear Mark Summers?
How does it feel to follow Mark Summers, by the way, Lee? How does that...
How disappointing are you after talking to Mark Summers for a little while, huh?
Listen, I'm just glad that I'm still, someone still calls me to do some radio every once in a while. So, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm sure it's nice. It's nice when the phone rings, But
right.
so
Masturbating expert.
So the Masters are going on. People all over the country are taking rests on their couches and
Taking a nap. This is the best thing to nap to, Lee. You know that.
getting a little shut eye. So give us the quick recap. What have we? Because I
What's
haven't
going on with it, Lee?
Because I have a 10-week-old baby, so I haven't watched any of it. Catch me up, Lee.
I fall asleep right when it comes on, so I can't tell what's going on with it.
Well, you should be sleeping a lot this weekend, though. But
Yes.
Charlie Hoffman is your leader at 7 under, which is an incredible round
Jody, can you hear him? The
today.
Masters music is too loud.
No, the Masters music is fine. Please continue, Lee.
It's all good, guys. Charlie Hoffman's your leader at 7 under, which is a great round today. The next guy is 4 shots back at 3 under, and then the majority of people are 1 under, even or plus. And so this guy's got a hell of a day today, but we'll see if he can keep that going for 4 days.
What's the computer voice in the background? What is going on in your world right now? What is that?
My buddy Josh, I think, all of a sudden has a case of Tourette's just came
Oh.
on, and he's starting.
I think
to,
Lee's stoned, Jody. You would know something about that.
Yeah. Well, what are you talking? No,
No.
Scott, no, please.
No.
What? Jewish people smoke weed too, Jody.
That's
not
true.
Just you.
They're big time. They are big time weed smokers. I know a lot of Jewish people, and they.
Lee, okay, let's get to the point. Dustin Johnson, did he get blacked out drunk and fall down the stairs? This is what we need to
what
know.
happened?
This is
That's
why
what we
you're
got
on
to
the
get
phone.
into here.
We were just talking about that, and I mean, how does it? I don't listen. I'm not buying that he was going to the gym and he just fell down the stairs. I mean, you're a grown man.
Never.
You're a grown
I've
man
never
and
done it.
He's not a
professional
toddler.
Yeah, I've never done it. Not once.
Yeah, wait, who was it? A Broncos? Was it Jay Cutler who slipped on the ice too, or something a few years ago? And it was because he was drunk or something.
Right, of course. Well, he's always drunk everywhere, apparently, at all times.
Yeah. Now listen. I'm not saying Dustin Johnson was drunk or impaired, but I will
Blacked
say,
out.
you know what? I've fallen down the stairs before. I could probably go play golf the next day. Come on, you're telling me you can't go out there and play golf because you fell on a stair? Come on, man.
Come on.
Is he hungover? Do we have any? What does he look like?
What happened? What happened? What really happened? For God's sakes.
Lee, you're supposed to be an investigative reporter on this
Yeah, I
crap,
thought you
man.
knew.
We just had Marc Summers on.
We
This
had
is
you.
bad.
We had you on for answers, not more questions, man.
Next time, take
What is
notes.
up with you
Jesus.
All right. Well,
Everything.
hey, all right. Well,
We're
Lee.
funnier when you're stoned, aren't we? Yeah.
Lee, thanks. We really appreciate it. Great
By the way,
Masters
is
update.
Hennigan getting fired for the Magic or
Please
what?
tell us he is.
Listen, let me tell you something. Not only does he need to go, but I've been saying this, and I'll say I haven't
For 3
said it on
years?
your show. I've said it before that the Voss family must sell this franchise. This franchise is doomed and will never be good as long as they're owning this franchise.
Can we just get can we sign
He's
Pat
about to die
Garrity?
off
Pat
anyway,
Garrity
isn't he?
for GM. Pat Garrity.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him
Pat
in.
home.
Come on.
He's the number
Yes.
2 to Stan Van Gundy up in Detroit
Yes.
when it comes
Yep.
to the player personnel.
I know
side.
that. I do know that. That's why I'm saying it's a realistic thing. Like, let's just do it. It'll be awesome. Pat Garrity. Let's go.
Pat,
Can't-
guys,
can't be
Pat
worse.
Pat will be a GM in this league. There's no question.
Why not be
about that. And I think
Orlando?
that would be- I agree.
Now,
Why
Lee,
not?
I used to be
Rob
very good
Hennigan-
friends with Pat Garrity. You know that. So
Let's
did
do
you.
it.
I took him to Mako's once, and his wife never let me talk to him again.
That's
It
true.
was sad.
One Mako's trip, and that was it. You were never allowed to talk
Oh,
to
he
him
can't-
ever again.
he
You were so
deleted my
close.
number.
You were
It
so
changed
close.
his.
You were so close to a real friendship with an Orlando Magic player, and his wife snuffed it out.
Listen, I remember this guy. I remember this.
Yeah, he told you. Yeah, I can't get laid standing next to that guy anyway, so it wasn't gonna work out.
All right. Well, Lee, thank you very much. We appreciate the Masters update. Have a good one out there. We'll maybe have you on
Fellas.
here soon.
Fellas, next time I want to be with you in the studio for a while.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. Later on,
Okay.
Lee. All right.
You're
All right,
uncircumcised,
Have a good one.
right? No, that's
Hey,
true. I should make that up.
No, why would he be uncircumcised? He's Jewish. That means he's
He's
circumcised.
Jewish.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Jews
yeah,
get
yeah,
circumcised.
see, I thought it was the other way around.
No,
I don't know. What am I? I don't even know
it's
what
not.
I am.
Criminal Ben,
I don't have the
do we have
anteater thing, though. What's the anteater?
Criminal Ben? Do we have Hogan? Is Hogan calling in? I haven't. Criminal Ben has been helping out.
Criminal
in the,
Ben's very drunk, I think.
You think he's drunk by now? I have no idea if
mean,
he's drunk or not. I'll shut it down right now. I don't care. Like we just talked to Mark. We just talked to Mark.
What are we gonna
We
do?
just talked to
Where
Marc
is
Summers
he?
for 20 minutes.
Criminal Ben.
Criminal Ben.
I'm right here.
So,
Sober is a motherfucking sober person.
all right. So, what do we do? Do you want to talk to Hogan about the sex tape, or do you want to talk to Criminal Ben about these virtual reality sex dolls? Because we've got like
The dolls. I got it.
Yeah, we only have like
both,
5.
Right?
We have like 5 minutes. So we have
Real
like.
quick.
All right. Like So what's going
Not
on?
that long.
Did you actually get a virtual reality sex doll, or are you in the market? Like, what's going on? Are you shopping for them? What's the story?
expensive,
what's
Jack.
yeah, they're. I've priced them out not because I was trying to buy one.
No, you're curious. You're
but
curious.
because I was
man.
curious.
You're gonna put one on your workbench
And
that you don't use.
they're
You need something to do on it.
They're shockingly pricey. Like they're very expensive. These sex dolls.
You got to be really horny.
I was in Atlanta working a trade show. I work audio visual, and I gave this guy working this booth at this trade show. I was working another booth, an eighth of marijuana, and he let me check out one of these dolls in the closet.
Scott, do you have any idea
I'm
how
telling you,
seedy what he
it's
just
pretty
said
nice.
was? Criminal Ben, do you even get a sense like when you're telling the story and you're not even gotten
you have to have proof of living in a basement to be
you haven't
able to-
even gotten to the good part yet, what you just told me is like the seediest thing that I've heard in weeks. You went to a trade show and traded a guy
Everybody.
on the trade show floor a
Everybody's
small
doing
bag of weed for some time with a sex doll in a closet.
Good indica.
That's some deep dark stuff, dude. It's a twisted reveal right there.
Pretty sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Was it clean? Do they clean these things? I
Okay,
don't know
so
about
all right,
the used.
so
The
you
only
get it.
thing you need to check out for is riggers up in the ceiling.
Oh God! So okay, so you get in there, you get into the closet.
thing good,
The sex
pure
doll,
out.
the sex doll is in there. Like, what happens? Like, do you close the door and you're just you and the sex doll in a dim room? Like, what?
Start
what,
kissing at
like,
first, or
what
just
do
go
you
right to
do?
the bed?
Yeah, what do you do with it? What
Start
happens?
talking to her. But before that, you have to program her what type of attitude, or behavior you like.
I like
you
this.
Oh, this is like a robot
Bitchy
one.
girl.
Oh, this is so. This is
a shy doll.
Oh,
what do you want?
I like that.
So what did you pick? What personality did you want, Criminal Ben?
A dominant or
Yeah.
strap on, reversed?
A what?
I just wanted her to bark like a dog.
Bark
the
like a
whole time.
dog.
I
So
just
you
wanted her to
Dog.
bark.
By the way, did you hear about Ben? Did you hear about the panda style? Girls are dressing up as pandas and banging now. This is kind of hot. I can get into this.
Okay,
in
so
the public, yeah.
So you can program. You can tell the sex doll to bark like a dog. So that's the first step. So you punch it in. You're like, okay, bark like a dog. You type it in there. And then what? I don't know. Do I even want to know what happens next?
Bang the hell out of it, I guess.
and then you're like, hey Alexa, take this dick in your mouth. Boom, and you shove it in a fucking robot mouth.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Criminal Ben. Can we do?
Yeah, and you feel bad about yourself once again, just like always at the end. It never changes.
Yeah, right after you release, you wish you weren't there. You know what I mean? Especially with that, I would imagine.
There is nothing worse than that feeling of shame in the moments after.
Especially
after
when you're
finishing.
watching like a really creepy porn.
Yeah,
you feel really bad.
Yeah, you know what though? Like there is no porn in the world that remains sexy or watchable in the moments after finishing.
It's
like
you go
like
immediate to that X and you exit out.
like there's
and
and
you
it goes
pretend like it never happened.
it goes from being like this thing that gets you like hot and horny to being completely disgusting in a matter of 1.5 seconds. Like
something about how where her parents are.
The worst is when the screen goes black and then you see your reflection in the computer
oh
screen.
yeah, that is.
Oh yeah,
That's
when you're drinking
bad.
off your own weird face. Ben, get Hogan on the phone. I have a list, and then we'll go to Hogan and then wrap it up, Jody. Okay?
All right. Let's get Hogan, Criminal Ben. Get Hogan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Get-
That was
all right.
sick.
Wow.
Weed for banging a doll, huh? That's good.
You know, I feel like we had. I feel like we had this like super wholesome, accessible sort of like 20 minutes with Marc Summers, right? Like doing like the kind of show and the kind of
Top-notch
radio that makes me feel good about what we're doing, right? You know what I mean? Dude,
I feel so good
like
right
that,
now.
like that whole discussion, even talking to Lee, I feel good about what we're doing.
Not that great,
and
but
then
okay.
and then we have this, and then that
Right.
and then that discussion with
we just hit a
Ben
dive.
just made me want to take a shower and never ever do this ever again, ever.
Drink Purell after that.
I don't ever want to do this show
quickly,
ever again.
Let's take the show to the next level right now with one of my famous lists. Do you have any list music for me, please? Got a list song, something, Jody? I mean, come on, dude. Not really the best list song, but I'll take it. The top 100 snacks in the world. All right, I'm not going to do all 100 because we
Top
don't have
100 in the world.
Well, yeah, you have to have some pizzazz with it. I'm like Marc Summers. I'm
I like
closer to
that.
him than you. You know,
Yeah, I know.
you look more like him, but you know he's aging like a fine wine. If
I
how
look
about
older.
this? If you
I
had
look
hair,
older.
you'd
I look
look
older than
exact-
him. He has a nice head of
I
hair.
know, he looks beautiful. I googled him.
I'm
His
30
face is
years
so
younger.
Good.
I'm 30 years younger, and I look older
You
than
guys
him.
look the
so.
same age. Let's be honest. He's 65. Okay.
All right.
How old are you again? 50.
37.
We'll do the top 5 since we don't have time for the whole 100. Okay. Do
All
we
right.
have time for that? The whole
No,
100?
no, just do the top few, okay?
Oh, come on. Top 5. Goldfish crackers. You like to munch on those things, right? You just eat them. They taste
Love
like
'em.
cardboard a little
Love
bit,
'em.
though. Number 4, Reese's peanut butter cups. I know you're a peanut butter guy.
I'm a huge peanut butter guy. In fact, peanut butter is by far my favorite, flavor of thing.
So you're agreeing with this crap so far.
I'm so far loving it. So far, yeah.
3, Pringles. Now,
No.
I like to do the duck mouth with
They're
those.
awful.
You know what I mean?
That's a
it's
disgusting
romantic.
snack. They're not even real potato chips. They're gross. They're terrible. They're like...
You get a flavor. You get a
They're gross.
sweet and sour
They're
or barbecue. 2, Oreos. You gotta have milk.
You have to have milk, and they're okay. They're okay.
I just don't like the double stuffed. Okay?
No, they're
Too
no.
much stuff.
My wife loves the double stuffed,
Does
and I
she lick
hate
it?
and I hate them. I hate it's too much stuff.
Too much stuff.
There's way too much. Like they got it. They got the ratio right with the
Right.
cookie
We don't need more
originally.
stuff.
But once you get the more stuff, you can even like get the thin Oreos that still has the same amount of
I like
stuff,
those.
and it throws everything off though because there's the same amount of stuff, but there's the thin Oreo, so the ratio gets thrown off. They don't need any more stuff than they have.
Are
No
the
more
thin
stuff.
Oreos for like dieting people, or is it the?
I don't know what
get
those are for. I don't know.
And number one, Doritos, Jody.
Yeah, all right. Doritos.
The first girl I ever made out with had a whole bunch of Doritos in her braces when she was kissing me. That was
right.
So every time I eat a Dorito, I think about a romantic time I had in middle school. It's fun.
Before we get out of here, we of course have a visit from our very, very good friend, great friend of the show, actually, the one and only Hulk Hogan. Welcome to the Jody and Scott Show, Hogan, you there?
What's going on, brothers?
What's happened? Whoa! Why does Hulk Hogan sound like he's calling from another planet? Hi, what's happening, Hulk?
It's Tampa, I think.
Concourse of the arena, man.
Whoa! Yeah. Were you around? That's right. The big WrestleMania event just happened.
I was there, Jody.
Oh, you were there.
It was 8 hours long. A lot of men. Every time you thought it was over, a new man came out. It was never ended.
Oh, that's too bad. I couldn't do it.
I didn't go. I wasn't booked, brother. I didn't show up, man.
Okay, so
he said the N-word. He can't go anywhere.
So anyway, why? Why is Hogan joining us today? Usually it means there's a
sex tape.
Usually it means there's a sex tape bubbling out there. What's the story?
What's bubbling with the sex tape?
Well, you know something, dude. Paige, my main girl on the WWE roster.
She
got a tape of herself getting banged.
Oh.
3 years ago.
Oh, nice. So is it out?
In like the back. Right.
You saw it? You gonna review it? Is it for
it's
sale?
Out there, man.
Okay.
He does a three-way dance with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods. Scott knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I couldn't watch it for too long because that's not classy because it was leaked without her knowledge. So
yeah. You can't do that. Yeah,
leaked by
I feel really bad
brother?
after.
Leaked by who, brother?
Who?
I don't know. Who leaked it?
Do you think she leaked it herself, there, Hulkster?
I wouldn't be surprised, man. Everything's at work in this business, Scott. Dropping legs.
Well, that's the move.
Out Ds.
That's the move that created the entire Kardashian empire, right? Leaking your own sex tape, like that's literally the thing that was the catalyst for the entire Kardashian business that exists today.
Kim Kardashian is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, man.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, see, she knows. She knows.
Okay, now there's some other big news, Jody.
All right, what's the big news, Scott? What's the big news?
There's more big news. My favorite Spice Girl, and a lot of people don't know this about me. Here's a fun fact about
Sporty?
me. My favorite Spice Girl is Mel B.
Oh, Mel B, yeah.
Okay, I like the black one. She's got the big boobs, the wild hair.
Yeah, she's hot.
Is there something bubbling with a Mel B sex tape, Hogan? What's going on?
What?
Yeah, it's
Well,
too big.
Porn Street Brothers is there's a leak coming real soon. So what you want, what you really, really want, brother, is coming.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to jerk to that. I don't care who leaks it. Where's Hogan's music, by the way? Just lose it?
There he is. All right, Hulk Hogan, thank you very much.
I want to put it deep inside.
All right, we'll see you later, Hulkster. Thank you. There he is.
How many tissues do you give the page?
How many?
1 out of 5 tissues.
3 out
Page
of 5,
sex
brother.
tape.
3 out of 5.
Short.
3 out of 5. All right, thanks.
Sure.
There
I
he is.
agree. I tried to jerk. There wasn't enough sex tape.
All right, thanks, Hulkster. Nice seeing you, Scott. You got any sort of like thing? You gonna make something up real quick for the twisted reveal?
I kind of have a twist. Actually, this is just a sick world.
Sick
Joe,
fact.
You know that.
Do you have like a sick thing for me? Something.
As I was researching Mark Summers, I noticed that he was married in 1974.
Okay.
So he never got a chance to really experience that double dare ass. You
No,
know
he didn't.
what I
By
mean?
the
He
way-
never got to go out to the bars.
No, he didn't. That's too bad.
Get laid. Imagine how many chicks this dude could have banged. This guy would have been.
Yeah, don't talk
Pussy
about Mark
magnet,
that way.
Mark Summers.
He didn't need all that. He didn't need to do all that. He's a good guy with a good career and a good family.
He never
Doesn't
drank
need
either.
Doesn't need all that stuff. Hey, Criminal Ben, thank you very much for coming on and making the show filthy and disgusting after that nice interview with Mark Summers.
Romanticized.
Get used to it. It's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna have a doll.
Okay,
Get used to it.
Thank you very much.
Your kids are gonna own a doll.
Now, my kid, I see that disgusts me to think that my sons are one day going to own robot sex dolls. Like my sons, and the thing is, Criminal Ben's probably right. One day, my sons probably will own robot sex dolls, and that's really weird, man.
Jody, you have a shed, right?
a
You can probably
lot
hide it
safer.
in the
It's
shed.
really
every time
weird.
you get horny, you go back in the shed and you bang the doll. If you had to do it, though, that would be the scenario, right? You do have a shed.
I would definitely do it in a shed. There's no other way to
Can't
do
get
it,
too
right?
loud,
we
though.
live
You gotta muzzle the-
we live in Florida. We don't have
If
basements.
a doll talked back to me, I'd punch it right in its eye.
There you go, and then you wouldn't even
Well,
have
that's
to
how
go
you
to
have to
jail.
program it not to. I could see. What if Jamie walked out and you were banging a doll in the shed? The marriage wouldn't last that.
I don't think it would last much longer than that moment. I think that would be the moment that the flame goes out and the marriage is over when she catches me, banging a robot in the back shed. That's when it's over. That's it.
You can crash on my couch, Jody, if you want. I always have a couch for you.
Put a fork in it. It's over at that moment. That's how.
Got any of that double dare ass.
That's how the love dies.
I want to talk about Mike Pence, but we'll do that next time. Right?
All right. Yeah, a lot. Sure.
We missed a lot. I had 2 other guests to get on this show.
It's a busy night.
In the Trump voice. Can you do it? Sad.
See everybody next week.
Is he going to blow up Syria or something? What's he doing now?
I don't know. Jesus Christ.
We're all going to die.
We made it like this far through the show without talking about it. I figure save it up for next week.
Get blown up, Jody. He's going to start a war with Russia.
I've come to just kind of accepting the fact that, we may die sooner than we expected, and whatever. At least we're alive.
Jody,
now,
it was
right?
one hell of a ride.
It's the Kazarian mafia.
Yeah.
Taking over shit.
Exactly.
Media.
Precisely.
Drugs for sex with a used blow-up doll.
See you next.
And chemtrails.
See you next week.
People's minds up. And fluoride.
Thanks, Criminal Ben. See everybody else.
Yep.
See everybody later.
You feeling this?
Even though I've been using catheters for 15 years, I gotta tell you, Liberator Medical has made it a whole lot easier. Liberator handles everything for me. They took care of all my Medicare, insurance, paperwork, and billing. And my catheters were completely paid for, not a dime out of my pocket. The new catheters that were suggested were really and truly right for me and made my life a lot easier than it was before.